Welcome again to my tens and tens of friends. It is me, Teacher TJ. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world, but thank you for being here with me. Let's get into it. This is Abbott Elementary Season 1, Episode 1, Pilot Review, Rewind Review, and let's relax and get into it. Teacher Janine starts off saying, so that was a great sentence. I'm going to have to talk to your mom about that, about what you're watching at home. And I would like to say, parents, please, actually, anyone within the sound of my voice, please, if you're old enough to talk around children, please watch what you say and what you do around anyone younger than you, bigger brothers, older cousins, big sisters, aunties, uncles, friends, whoever. Please watch your mouth when children are in a room. I'm pretty sure that children watch and repeat everything that you say and do. Children pick up everything, especially those unfavorable things or words that we don't want for them to use. So, story time. It was a time around Christmas, and there was a little girl in the classroom, and they were helping the teacher put the tree up. And it was an artificial tree, so the teacher was sorting the pieces. You know, if you have an artificial tree, it's like red branches go over there, and just to sort it out so that it'll be in layers. The tree goes in layers. The tree was being sorted, and the adults were thinking like, wow, she's never had a chance to put together a Christmas tree. She's so excited. The little girl gathered all the branches up in her arm and she was so happy. She was like, oh, this weed. What? So you mean your child knows what weed is, but not a Christmas tree? Okay. But yeah, watch what you say and do around your children. They do not need to witness and know about everything, especially if they don't know about everything. Like they know what weed is, but not a Christmas tree. No, come on, choose wisely. I'm sure that if that mom was there, she would have been mortified because she was happy about the weed, though, because I guess she was going to give it to her mom. I don't know, but she just grabbed that weed up and she was like, oh, this weed. And I'm like, clearly she's not going to smoke it. So I don't know. I found that to be crazy, but it happened. It really happened. Yes, again, please be careful about what you say in front of your children or what if you're an adult, watch your mouth, watch your actions, be careful around a kid, okay? Because they go out into the world and they represent you, or they have memories and they do things that represent you. Also, as a kid, I was a dark-skinned, nappy-head little girl, okay? Quite frankly, let's just say that my mom never helped my hair quite grow. It was pretty stagnant for some time, okay? She didn't know what she was doing. And if you're a mother who has that issue where your child hair just doesn't grow, I'm going to make a video because my daughter actually has waist length hair because I know what I'm doing. My mom didn't know what she was doing, so it didn't grow. Um, I would say oil rinses, okay, probably once a month. That helps the hair gain moisture, and if it's moisturized, it's stretching, and if it's stretching, it's not breaking. Another thing I would say is do not put tight ponytails in your child's hair excessively. Don't do that. Anyhow, back to my story. So for me, it was basically family and close friends who would actually say stuff right in front of my face as if I didn't have ears or I didn't have feelings. Like, and I never forgot those things. As a grown woman, all of you who have said something to me as a child that was out of pocket, even kids around my age, I remember y'all too. Please, please, please watch what you say in front of kids, okay? Yes, so Janine Teagues is an ambitious second grade teacher at Abbott Elementary in Philadelphia, and she has been for a year. When I started watching Abbott, I was a little confused, like, this season 5 and y'all saying that y'all been teachers for 6 years, duh. They started with her already being a teacher for a year, and the rest of the teachers outside of Jacob have been teachers for many years at Abbott. Janine speaks about the money being spent on the stadium up the street, yet she's taping together books and their books are outdated. They cut to the teachers and some old and some new, and even ones who didn't really quite make it through the school year. Then a few seconds later, we go to Miss Teague's in her classroom to see a student peeing on the rug because the toilets didn't work. She focuses in on the carpet, but I like to focus in on how she was able to go out into the hallway for a moment to talk to one of her coworkers. She put on Baby Shark and all the kids started dancing. Please be advised that you can use music at any pivotal time in your classroom, i.e., nap, music and movement, studying, when a child is upset, when you're upset, when everyone is upset. Music is good for transitions, doing classwork, and so much more. You can even use music for the potty and to encourage children to clean up. If you do not use music in your classroom, I would definitely encourage you to. Janine speaks about the carpet. She says it's like a huge Xanax for the students. I would say the pillows in my class are like that for the children here. The teachers from next door come over and ask if Janine can turn the music off because Baby Shark is like, back that thing up. Shout out to Juvenile for the kids. While music can serve so many purposes, it can also enhance moods. So you have to think about if you want the kids to turn up or do you want them to turn down. A good example of that would be turn up music for kids would be Gracie's Corner. If you want the kids to chill out, I would say go with Tony's. Side note, always let children know when something is going to end, when you're going to go into the next thing, or what we call transitions. And if you say, like, okay, in 5 minutes, we're going to stop Baby Shark, 9 times out of 10, they will be ready to move on to the next thing or leave an area without much fight, as long as they know what is coming next. And also make sure that you stick to what you say. If you tell your child, you know they have a problem of freaking out when you leave an area or leave the party or leave the park or wherever, and you tell them, okay, you got 5 more minutes, and you count that time down for them. In 5 minutes, leave. I don't care what's happening. They can go off and have a tantrum. They can run away. Whatever they do, that's their business. For me, I would be like, okay, the next day, even if I wasn't going to the park, I would be like, yeah, we was going to go to the park, but the way you tripped out last time, we're not going. I let you play, and mom has to do X, Y, and Z. When it's time to go, it's time to go. And then the next time you get ready to take them to the park and you count down, they should be ready to go. And if they're not, keep doing it. They'll get the hint. You have to let your kids know you mean business, and they have to be able to have expectations. If you think about it, if you were doing something and somebody say, "Hey, stop that, let's go," you're gonna be like, "What? I was doing something." So you have to always look at it from both perspectives. Barbara's class is in a quiet single file line while she's in Miss Teague's class. She asks Janine to cut that music off, and Janine asks her to count to 10. As Janine begins to count to 10 herself, Janine follows Barbara around down the hallway to tell her how much she loves her, and she even calls her mom. Next, teacher Jacob Hill is the history teacher. The gym and music teachers are gone. Apparently, extracurricular activities is something only for the high schools in Philadelphia. Yikes. Jacob and Teagues are two of the new teachers who just made it through from the following school year. Next, we are introduced to the teacher, Melissa Schemmenti. She was a little reluctant to say her last name because she asked the cameraman, who you working with? Are you the feds or what? Because she's a thug, basically. The teachers all talk about how they need a new rug. The principal, Ava Coleman, burst into the break room screaming, "What it do, boo?" And she asked the teachers if they like the new film crew. Melissa says they're distracting, and the principal explains how all press is good press, and they're going to be on TV. All the teachers agree that Ava is a bad principal. A Principal Ava tells all the teachers to be more like Mrs. Howard because she never complains. Next, we see a teacher, maybe her name was Mrs. Worsher, I don't know, but she was getting ready to fight a student. I don't know. I think the student was lying. I don't know. But Miss Howard says to Miss Teagues, she wonders if she counted to 10. Jacob says, "You don't hit a kid." Melissa says, "Yeah, you can threaten them." Miss Howard says, "You can yell at them." Melissa says, "You can threaten their parents." Jacob says, "You can mildly embarrass them." And Melissa has to admit that she's even threatened a grandparent once. Teacher tip, kids be kidding, okay? Kids like totally be kidding. But kids be kidding, and that's cool. As the adult and teacher, our job is to recognize the problem, understand it's not personal, and it's not you, hopefully. Observe the matter and regulate your breathing and calmly coach the child through the situation. You can do that with counting, breathing, hugs, walk, talking to the kid, or other options that may help you calm down the situation. After constantly coaching, the goal is to get the children to be able to do those things on their own, to self-regulate. Ava, the principal, meets the group and she says that the teacher was out of line and she fired her. Ava meets with the group and says that the teacher was out of line and that she fired her and that Mr. Johnson has taken over the class. Mr. Johnson is the janitor. To make everything better, Ava promises to get an emergency budget from the school district as long as no one reports the fight to the principal or to the school district. In walks Gregory Eddie, who calls the principal Mrs. Coleman because he's a sub for a day, and anyone that knows her calls her Ava. But Gregory explains how he was only subbing to get into the school. He said he had interviewed for the principal position, and he says he got the job, but then he doesn't know what happened. Ava lets us know that she went to the same church as the superintendent and she needed a job, so there you go. Janine Teagues and Gregory Eddie meet in the bathroom during a pretty awkward encounter. His student peed on himself and her student threw up on herself. Now, Janine and Mrs. Howard talk about school's emergency budget, and Mrs. Howard lets her know there is no money and stop hyping herself up about it because so that she won't let herself down. Janine explains it's part of her job to be optimistic, and Ava actually gets the budget approved. Ava blew the budget on her hair and a sign. Mrs. Howard asked Janine, "How does that optimism taste?" While leaving for the day, Janine, Barbara, and Melissa talk about the budget, and Janine lets them know that she wrote the superintendent an email. Unbeknownst to her, her emails are being bounced back to her. Or no, any emails that are sent out are just bounced back to the person that they are intended for. At that moment, Ava comes over the intercom stating that they were doing a team building lunch effective now. Ava begins to bash Janine. I guess she got her letter or her note to the school district, and she asked the other teachers to come on, join in on this. Of course, no one joins in to talk bad about Janine. The teachers actually joined Janine. Talked about a student who slept on the rug because he couldn't sleep at home because his parents argued a lot, and that's heartbreaking. Please protect your babies from foolishness, physically and mentally. Okay? Barbara explains that Abbott teachers actually are good teachers, administrators, and so forth. Side note, I used to feel bad for charging administration fees, but that's real time and work that I would have to put into each student. And for a registered student, I would have to do work for them year round. Plus, I can't charge extra for secretary fees or therapist fees or cooking fees, and the list goes on and on. So I stopped feeling bad and I started charging my admin and registration fees. Home daycare owners, I would say charge those fees. My own children go to school for 6 hours a day. I'm open for 13 hours a day. And in my home daycare, we take naps, they brush their teeth, we potty train, and it's so much more. Preschool slash daycare providers spend a lot of time with children. If you feel you need to charge for it or you need to charge more, do so. As Mrs. Howard explains, teachers do a lot, and it's certainly not all about the money. I remember once a parent who did not want to pay tuition, which was actually half of what I charge now, said to me, "You only care about money." And it's like, who on a job don't care about the money? But okay. Note to daycare providers or anyone in a business that charges less than you should charge, the more you'll be unappreciated. Yeah, the wrong type of clients want people to keep their children for 13 hours a day, 5 days a week for free. So all that encouraged me to raise my prices, and I still do not make a lot of money, but I have parents who value me, and I feel like I'm getting a good bang for what I do. But as Mrs. Howard states, it's not all about the money. And Melissa agrees it's a calling, and some of us answer that calling. I call myself the baby slash child whisperer. They listen to me and I understand them. It is definitely a calling. Miss Barbara assures Janine they'll do everything to help her get her rug, and they all chip in on a rug. Melissa, she uses her connect to get all of them a rug, and Janine, as what's the guy name? Janine is so me sometimes. I am from the projects, but I don't think I was supposed to be in a project. So, story time. I was with my husband at the time, and he was telling me he got the hookup on something, and I was like, in all of our years of knowing each other, he always got the hookup, and I'm like, how does that work? Like, do people just walk up to you like, "Hey, bro, you want to buy this?" It was like, it was like, yeah, because you look like you a snitch. He said, "No, ain't nobody trying to get you the hookup because you look like you go tell you don't have the I want the hookup like persona." And I said, "You know what? You're right. One time I was real close to getting the hookup. So somebody had walked up to me. I was in a grocery store and they was like, "Hey, you want to buy this?" And I looked at them like, "Do I want to?" And I was like, "Oh, I did. Yeah, I guess I do have that because I don't want your ill-gotten goods, but I do want the hookup. I don't know." So I would love to have a Melissa Schemmenti, but I wouldn't. I would be like Janine. I wouldn't even know how to have a Melissa Schemmenti. To sum this episode up, I like to say, be patient with kids. Watch what you say around kids. And most of all, always do your best. In the words of Layla Hormozy, shout out to her, I watch her channel. It's not about how you feel, it's more about following the plan. If you're prepared with lesson plans, parent handbooks, communication tools, and all of the things, teaching will be so much easier. Follow the plan and stay prepared because you'll be happy that you did. Bye for now. Yo, I don't know. I really don't know what it is about recording that makes my voice so it's already deep, but for some reason the rasp attacks so I came prepared today. Hopefully that helps out. Yeah. I want the hookup, but I don't have the hookup face, or maybe I don't want the hookup. I don't know. So I just have to. I hope this light didn't distract y'all throughout the video. So I'm gonna just turn this around this way.